All right. Welcome back, everybody. Once again, Buckeye Banter. Took a little bit to get to this one. Not as much excitement, obviously, after the loss, but nonetheless, we're going to give this Buckeye National Championship game a quick review. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Cavs trade. So, without further ado, let's get right into this episode of Buckeye Banter. Welcome to Buckeye Banter Sports in the OH. All right, so this is not the. Sorry about that. I'm not sure. There we go. Get the right logo up there. I gotta tell you, hired help. Yeah, that's me. I'm the guy. Anyways, yeah, not as exciting as the that Browns game, unfortunately, but you know, I I think that we have to consider what this team went through. Um, it was so many just unknowns, and in the end, they came up against a really, really good Alabama offense, and we didn't have all of our defense. Um, then we played a pretty inconsistent, not very good game. Um, Not to discredit Alabama, I think Alabama legitimately had, just some really good players, and they made the plays that they had to make. Um, I think Ohio State at 100% hangs a little bit better and maybe has a chance to beat them, but um, that wasn't what we were at, and we certainly didn't make anyone believe that that's what we're capable of with what we put forth. But I think those of us who watch them week in and week out know what they're capable of, and what they kind of put out there. This last game was not quite up to snuff. Again, I think it was a long, grueling season, and um, especially with the unknowns of whether there'd even be a season. And in the end, you know, we got what we got, and there's nothing to hang our heads about. They played a really good few games, a couple games that they didn't play as well. They still found a way to win. So there's a lot to look at. What next season might look like. What's going to happen with the guys that are leaving and not leaving? This is a strange season as far as guys getting freebies to come back if they want, which is going to really, I think, play out unique ways because some of these guys are going to have to reconsider. Um, I think we're going to see the really expected ones leave, but there might be some guys who come back who maybe otherwise wouldn't. So we're just going to have to keep our eye on that. We'll do kind of a season wrap episode here, probably in another week or two, once we start to get a feel for those things. And yeah, we'll kind of cover some of that. We'll also keep an eye on what happens with staff as we speak. It's looking like very likely that Urban is going to end up in Florida with Jacksonville as the coach. So, if he goes to the Jags, does anyone leave? I have to imagine there's a few guys that are going to go that way, but I don't think he's going to, come in and just take a bunch of our guys for a number of reasons. One, a few of them I don't think necessarily want to make that move, and two, I don't think Urban wants to just loot Ohio State and leave them in the lurch. So for those two reasons, I don't imagine it's going to be drastic what he does, but we have to expect that he will probably bring a guy or two with him. So we'll look at all of that as that unfolds. And like I said, we'll do a kind of a post-season wrap as we get some of the information coming in on who declares and who doesn't, and who decides to take advantage of this free year coming back and whatnot. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, congratulations. We made it to the national championship game. Sometimes we as Ohio State fans, I think, get this like in our heads that you know we fell apart and it wasn't, we weren't, we didn't have a successful season somehow because we didn't win the national championship. Um, it's a pretty high bar. we won the Big Ten. We beat Clemson, a good Clemson team, handily. Um, and we got to the Natty. We didn't win it. Maybe next year we will. The recruiting class that these guys got coming in, we got years and years to look ahead to. So let's not just bash on this team and these coaches. It amazes me, some of these forums that I'm in, these groups on Facebook and other places, and just the bashing that immediately takes place of guys like Kerry Combs. You know what? You go out there and try and coach this defense, missing guys against Alabama, and let me know how you do. You got a pretty good feeling Kerry did better than you would have done. Just a hunch. Um, is that to say I think he made all the right calls? No, certainly. I think he made some mistakes. I'm sure he would admit that he made some mistakes. That maybe he wouldn't call the game the same way he did, but you know what? You don't know. That's what hindsight does for you, right? Anyways, all that to say is, go Bucks. Let's enjoy this team for what they were. They were very good, and yeah, they fell a little bit short. Bama just happened to be better on that day, and I hate saying that. I hate the SEC. I really do. I think they think they're just so elite. I still don't think that the SEC as a conference is was elite necessarily. I think A&M was pretty good this year, um, but honestly, like I've said to a few people, I think I'd take Penn State, I'd take Indiana, I'd take Wisconsin, Northwestern against most of the rest of the SEC. Northwestern showed that against Auburn. Indiana, even without Penix, almost won their bowl game. Georgia barely beat Cincinnati. Now Cincinnati, I think, had a very good team this year, but so yeah, I think that and Florida got housed by Oklahoma. So yeah, I think Alabama was by far the class of the league, the conference. Um, so if you're out there all SEC, yada yada yada, I don't want to hear it. Alabama was legit. They were very good. But don't tell me it's this SEC dominance garbage. We won't have any of that. All right. With that, let's jump over and let's talk about the Cavs. This is a massive deal, and I gotta tell you, the overall sentiment on this deal across the talking heads is that the Cavs did really well. Um, Again, I've seen some fans out there who are bashing on Allen and on Torian Prince, assuming they know more than scouts and analysts that are paid money to look at these things. We gave up a first round pick that we got from Milwaukee, so not even our own. Um, we gave that up, and we gave up a second round pick in 2024. I believe that the Milwaukee pick might have some protections, which at this point don't even matter because they locked up Giannis, so they're not gonna fall in that protected range. So that Milwaukee pick is gonna go, and then the second round pick is in 2024. It's kind of not even a thing. And then we gave up Dante Exum, who had been playing very well, but he's also hurt. So in return for the Cavs jumping in this deal, they get Torian Prince, who is a 3-and-D wing, who's pretty highly thought of. And the big get is Jarrett Allen, fourth-year center out of Texas. He's just been really, really playing well. And everyone seems to see. Now, obviously, he's about to get paid. So we're going to have to pay him a pretty big contract. But he's going to be a few years ahead of the rest of these guys. And he's going to pair up with these two young guards, our Sexland and Okoro. And that's a pretty good four, honestly, right there. Not to mention some of the other pieces we already have. This does pretty much almost guarantee that Drummond or McGee is going to get traded, which honestly, early before the season started, I would have been like, yay. But I've been actually really impressed with both of them. But you can't have Jarrett Allen not getting minutes. There's no way. You didn't trade for that guy to have him get 15 to 20 minutes a game. You traded for that guy because he's your starting center and he's your center of the future, and he's going to need to play 25 to 35 minutes. So now you've all of a sudden got this log jam between he and probably Drummond if you can get something for him. But maybe McGee. no, I don't know that Drummond's going to want to sit on the bench behind Allen. So we'll have to see what happens. But I expect that the Cavs are already making phone calls and trying to figure that out. Um, Again, before the season, I would have been super excited about that. Right now, I'm a little bit bummed because I really have been impressed with both Drummond and McGee. I think they've really embraced that role that they have on this team, kind of a veteran leadership role that I never expected either of them to take like they have. Both I've watched a few of these games and I've been really impressed by them both. Um, but I imagine one of them is gone pretty soon here. And the other possibility is that they still try to find a way to move K-Love. Um, we haven't even seen him play yet, and this team is 5-7. They've had a lot of injuries to most of their supposedly key players, and they're still 5-7. It's not bad. So this move, and we'll see what happens. But I feel like this core group is getting more and more exciting, and the front office is doing good things. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it was a good trade. Like I said, all around universally, the response by talking heads is that we get an A to an A plus. I have not seen anything lower than I think an A minus on people giving trade grades for this thing. So yeah, hats off to the Cavs. Let's see what happens. I don't know how soon they're going to play. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Um, Tomorrow, probably going to do a Browns preview episode, so be on the lookout for that. Um, so there's a lot of exciting news going on there. We've been sharing on the Facebook page, but we'll get into all of those details tomorrow as far as who all's back. And pretty much everybody at this point. I think today we should find out for sure that Stefanski is cleared and that he'll be back. But as soon as we find all that out tomorrow, we'll cover it and give you an episode on the Cavs. I'm sorry, on the Browns. Big matchup against Kansas City. We'll make a bold prediction, or maybe not so bold. We'll see. But look out for that tomorrow. So like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hope you enjoy the content, and go Bucks, go Cavs, and yeah, thanks again.